land of the brave and not of many. This is the motto of Cerro de Pasco, a Peruvian city that's being devoured by a mine of immense proportions. Its residents live in the shadow of this colossal pit, facing an insidious danger: heavy metal poisoning. This is the story of a community that has been living through an environmental and health crisis, a silent battle that remains largely unresolved. Located at 4,300 meters above sea level in the Andes Mountains, Cerro de Pasco is one of the highest cities in the world. It's also one of the most polluted places on Earth. The city flourished thanks to its mineral wealth, silver, zinc, and notably lead, but also fell victim to it. The local community is exposed to toxic heavy metals that are dozens, hundreds, sometimes even thousands of times in excess of locally mandated safe limits and well above international guidelines, according to a recent investigation by the NGO Source International. This is the fifth study done in Cerro de Pasco in the past decade, and things haven't improved over time. This relentless exposure is causing irreversible damage to the health and neurological development of locals, especially the most vulnerable, children.
Estamos aquí cerca del botadero Excelsior, donde están estocando todos los desechos mineros de la compañía Volcan Cerro-Sac. Y justo aquí estamos a unos cuantos metros del botadero. Esta es una escuela, entonces pueden imaginarse cómo todos los desechos pueden levantarse con el viento y pues estar exponiendo a los niños a polvo contaminado. El polvo que se puede también depositar en el suelo, donde los niños juegan y pueden también tocar el suelo y comerse y ingerir este suelo.
A subsidiary of Volcan, Peru's leading zinc and silver producer, currently manages the mining pit. Volcan took ownership of the pit in 1999 when it acquired it from the state mining company Centromin Peru, which had previously been operated by the United States-based Cerro de Pasco Copper Corporation.
Cuando yo llegué, Champamarca era un ambiente muy contaminado.
Research has shown that exposure to toxic metals like lead during children's developmental years result in delayed brain growth, diminished motor skills, and impaired language and social capabilities.
Aquí estamos midiendo la calidad del agua, porque hace años encontraron concentraciones también de plomo arsénico. Nosotros cada vez que venimos, una vez al año, medimos la calidad del agua y analizamos la concentración de 21 metales pesados y sacamos la muestra y la enviamos a un laboratorio certificado italiano para análisis de metales pesados.
Pasco todavía no toma agua potable y esto va a depender mucho de nuestras autoridades. No permitimos que tomen estas aguas.
The headmistress has to filter tap water 3 times and mix it with bleach before children are able to safely wash their hands. But despite her efforts, the exposure has already occurred.
Los chicos se hicieron un examen de plomo en sangre y el resultado era alarmante.
Source International showed that children had levels of lead 43 times higher than the maximum acceptable levels for children. Lourdes Mendoza, a resident and mother of 3, has witnessed the devastating impact of lead poisoning on her family. Noah Benjamin, her middle son, has suffered severe illness for nearly his entire life, resulting in the loss of one eye due to cancer. Benjamin also grapples with nausea, diarrhea, headaches, fainting, and nosebleeds. The latter is a telltale sign of lead exposure, which afflicts many children in the town.
Cuando él tenía 1 año, 2 añitos, se dieron cuenta que era un cáncer. 5 para 6 añitos, ahí empiezan los trastornos de la sangre. Cuando nos vuelven a Lima y le hacen un estudio de médula, resulta que él tenía células aplásticas anómalas, le dice. El doctor Daniel Koch dice, Esto viene producto de que tú no deberías vivir en Cerro de Pasco. Esto del tema del riñón, del hígado, todo es tema de lo que es contaminación, porque el plomo afecta neurológicamente y el arsénico a órganos blandos, me dijo así. Pero dígame, ¿qué es lo que voy a hacer ahora? Usted trate de decirme qué puedo hacer. ¿Qué es lo que dijo así fríamente el doctor? Señora, yo no puedo hacer nada. Tampoco hay tratamiento. Para tu niño no hay cura. Tú puedes ir, darle calidad de vida porque sabes que tu hijo se va a morir. Y el doctor decía, agradece, se va a ir, ya no va a sufrir. No es tan fácil.
In response to the dire situation of children in Cerro de Pasco, the government declared the relocation of the entire city as a matter of public necessity and national interest in 2008. But in the 15 years since then, there's been no change. In 2012 and then again in 2017, the Peruvian Ministry of Health declared a state of environmental emergency in Cerro de Pasco. Even though in 2018, the Peruvian government allocated some funds for the construction of a treatment center for children affected by heavy metals, the plan has not been realized. But Lourdes is determined to seek justice, refusing to accept that her community has been abandoned by the authorities.
Ahí nosotros ese 2017 empezamos nuestra lucha, nos fuimos a Lima, decidimos tomar Ministerio de Energía y Minas, después fuimos a Palacio de Gobierno, que esa fecha nos golpearon, ahí no respetaron ni niños, porque yo como siempre iba con Christopher y con Benjamin, ahí nos metieron golpe, nos llevaron a la comisaría, se les dio la gana de botarnos a las 2 de la mañana.
The 3 mining companies that have assumed control of the mine over the past century have been slowly eating away at the town, buying entire neighborhoods to expand the mining pit. Today, these districts resemble ghost towns, where plants grow inside abandoned, crumbling structures. The outskirts of Cerro de Pasco have also witnessed significant environmental deterioration, particularly in the concentration of heavy metals in the rivers.
Vemos que hay concentraciones elevadísimas de metales pesados como cadmio, mercurio, manganeso, plomo, arsénico, aluminio, cerca de los desagues mineros que están en el río Ragra.
A water sample collected from the Cuilacocha Lake in Paraxá, one of the city's most contaminated sites, showed cadmium levels almost 3,200 times higher than Peru's permitted limit. This toxic flow eventually reaches Lake Junín, the country's second largest body of water. Environmental cleanup has been minimal, with the mining company covering some of its tailing with a thin mesh, but the town's walls speak loudly about its suffering. Life yes, lead no.
Lo único que sí a mí me gustaría y le pediría es que nos ayuden para poder lograr justicia. Perdonen que me dé ganas de llorar, es que como han dicho que se van a morir, querer que tengan justicia. No estoy preparada para cuando algún día mi hijo termine enterrado, tampoco estoy preparada. Porque el Estado fue tan cruel de dejarnos abandonados y no voy a descansar hasta lograr justicia y el poco tiempo se pudiera vivir que la vivan bien.
This year, Source International uncovered a total of 140 violations of Peruvian heavy metal limits, 115 related to water sources and 25 in soils. Between 2018 and 2023, the Volcan Mining Company has been fined approximately 3.5 million soles, mostly for failing to comply with environmental norms, exceeding contamination limits, and failing to supervise remediation plans, according to Peru's Environmental Assessment and Control Organization. Despite multiple inquiries, neither Volcan nor Glencore, its major shareholder, have responded to pollution allegations. Instead, they continue to shift blame to previous mining operations. Mongabay's repeated request for comment from the Peruvian government went unanswered.